Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving right into CountryHealth's report ordering process. Now look, I know follow-up reports might sound like standard administrative paperwork at first glance, but as we're going to uncover today, strictly following their timeline is absolutely non-negotiable for your patient's safety. We have a ton of fascinating and crucial ground to cover from their guidelines, so let's jump right in. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever wondered what the real cost actually is when you put off your doctor's review? It is so much more than just a late fee. According to the clinic's own documentation, the stakes are totally twofold. You've got the financial hit, sure, but fundamentally, it's about the clinical cost. Delaying that review literally jeopardizes the safety of your entire treatment process.
So, to keep you out of that danger zone, CountryHealth uses what they call the ideal review schedule. This isn't just guesswork, it is a highly precise rhythm built to keep your care safely on track. What this tells us is that being proactive is absolutely the best way to manage your health journey. They definitely don't want you guessing when to check in.
Let's move to and see how this builds across your actual treatment. When you start a brand new plan, you need that first check-in right at the 6 to 8 week mark. From there, you shift into a symptom control phase every 2 to 3 months until your levels are totally optimized. And once you are stabilized, you graduate to a routine 6-month maintenance review. That's the ideal path right there. Now, before a report can even be generated, there are some incredibly strict baseline rules for your blood results. CountryHealth is crystal clear on this. They cannot and will not work with outdated information. Your blood results literally cannot be older than 2 months, period. Plus, they absolutely must include specific markers, your TSH, FT4, and FT3. It's totally on you to follow these testing instructions carefully, because without that exact baseline, a report just can't happen.
All right, so let's say you've got those fresh, accurate blood results ready, your timely review is due, and you're good to go. You actually have a choice to make between a standard or an extended report. Just a quick heads up from their policy, though. If you submit your order and leave out important information, it creates extra work for the clinic, and you are going to get hit with an amendment fee. So getting it right the first time is definitely the way to go.
Let's compare the two side by side. The standard report is already a fantastic baseline. It compares your TSH, FT4, FT3, RT3 if you have it, antibodies, and your symptom score to give you a written action and personal supplement plan. Versus the extended report, which includes the whole standard package, but adds vital advice on things like B12, folate, vitamin D, and ferritin. Oh, and if you are currently on a subscription plan, upgrading to extended is a breeze.
Okay, so how do you actually handle the payments for all this? Well, as it turns out, there are some really distinct financial perks to being perfectly on time with your reviews, and they've kept the payment system super straightforward.
So here's the breakdown on billing. Option 1 is Go Cardless, which uses direct debit. This is absolutely their preferred instant payment method, and you actually have to use it for any upgrades or amendments. Option 2 is Stripe, your standard card payment portal. But the absolute best part about both of these, CountryHealth has zero access to your actual bank or card details, meaning you are always in full control.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is it's a rare moment where healthcare actually pays you back. If you order a prescription directly along with your report using SmartWay or Wealth Apotheca, you get a £5 discount. It's just a really smart, simple incentive for keeping your treatment and your paperwork perfectly synced.
But, we've got to look at the flip side. Let's talk penalties, starting with a very strict administrative boundary. If someone tries to order a report and they aren't actually a registered patient, that order is instantly canceled. And the refund they get? It'll be minus a £15 admin fee. The clinic says this is non-negotiable, which makes sure only active patients are using the system. So what happens if you miss that ideal timeline? Well, the tone of the clinic's policy shifts drastically here, and for good reason. Slipping behind isn't just a minor oops moment, it triggers a whole cascade of escalating clinical and financial risks. It all anchors right back to this exact quote from the clinic. "We are here to keep you safe." That is the whole shebang right there. Every single fee, every warning we're about to look at, they exist because the clinic literally cannot safely manage your health without timely, regular follow-ups. It's a clinical necessity, not an administrative hurdle.
Let's break down the first tier of these penalties. If you slip into the 1 to 3 months overdue zone, the immediate consequence is a higher fee for your report. But honestly, the cash is the least of it. You also get hit with a formal warning. The clinic explicitly states that they reserve the right to discharge patients who ignore the schedule.
Now, if a patient ignores that first warning and hits the 3 to 6 months overdue mark, things get intense.
You are now forced to subscribe to their recommended price plan, and you have to submit your latest blood results immediately. The absolute biggest penalty, though, is that the flexible pay-as-you-go option is explicitly revoked. That flexibility is just completely gone.
Which brings us to the absolute most critical stage. What happens if you are more than 6 months late for your routine follow-up? At this point, the standard routine report system completely shuts down. You can't just log on and pay a fee anymore, because the clinical risk has become way too high.
So, the crucial point is this verbatim policy right here. We reserve the right to discharge patients who don't follow our review schedule or have had no follow-up review for more than 6 months. Hitting that half-year mark means you are facing the very real possibility of losing your access to care entirely. No data, no safe treatment.
If you find yourself in this severely overdue spot and you want to try and salvage your care, there is a strict, mandatory recovery process. Step 1. You have to book a telephone call directly with Dr. Frey to even see if future care is possible. Step 2. You must pay for that mandatory call up front. And Step 3. You have to email support to find a time slot. Look at all those hoops. A simple report request just won't cut it anymore. Which really drives home the absolute importance of ordering a follow-up report within the recommended time frame to begin with.
This whole strict recovery process proves that these rules aren't arbitrary. The fees aren't just for show. They are necessary guardrails. So, I'll leave you with this provocative question to chew on. Are you taking full control of your health schedule, or are you risking your clinical safety by letting the timeline slip? The power is entirely in your hands. Thanks for joining this explainer today. Now go double-check those schedules.